Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tyranny. I've spoken about this game in my RimWorld playthrough, and it shouldn't be a surprise that I'm now playing it. For those who don't know, it's made by Paradox, but more importantly Obsidian Entertainment, the same guys who made Pillar of Eternity, which I adored greatly, and if people want I might play it in the future here as well. But for now, let's play some Tyranny. Let's do normal, basically as it is. No expert mode, no iron mode, just normal as it's meant to be played.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, spymaster and Archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tyranny, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tyranny brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
How could you know, indeed. Time to make our characters. Right, so let's see. I don't know what to think about graphics, really. It looks a little clay. Now, what kind of character should we have? What do I want? I think I want a warrior, because I want to join the elite. Let's keep it at normals like that. We can customize properly. Can we zoom in? No? Shame. See, let's go with a stern, angry face. Bold, maybe? Mini mohawk. More hairstyles. Let's go with bold. We're on Unsullied. That's ugly as fuck. Neckbeard. Ooh, that's fancy. Handlebar mustache. Fuck it, we're going with that. Can we color it? We can. Blonde. Blonde mustache. Male sneaky. Noble? Yeah, let's go with male noble. No, let's not have any tattoos. Is there a fitting portrait for our bald friend here? Not really, is there? I'm pretty sure that's a female. I don't... That one? No, no mustache. I'm pretty sure that's a female as well, but let's go with it. How did you join Kairos' army? Let's see. Which one sounds the best? Pit fighter or soldier, I believe. Pit fighter, not wishing to pay to feed a house to... Not wishing to pay to feed and house too, the madam that pursued your mother sold you to the proving grounds, the Northern Empire's bloodiest, most notorious fighting arena. Given only enough training to assure the show isn't over too soon, your natural prowess and survival instinct led you to one victory after another. There was no elegant swordplay, no formalized duels, just brutal melee and the stench of blood, shit and bronze with each day's gruesome necessities. Maybe? Unable to settle the year's account of the grain, your parents offered you as a tithe to the warlords instead. Seeing your first battle as a child, you've known all your life how to fight, how to stay calm at the sight of blood and disembowelment, and how to rely on your fellow warriors. Deemed smarter than the average killer, you were groomed and commanded and given an education in letters and numbers. Lawbreaker? Accused of crime you most certainly did commit, you stood before Tunon, the adjudicator, Archon of Justice, and argued your case with eloquence and conviction. Impressed by your logic, reason and confidence, he found you guilty anyway. It is rumored that Tunon selects many of his agents from his prisoners, who better to catch the wicked than those worst in such way. I'm tempted of that. Fuck it, let's go Lawbreaker. In his mercy, Tunon offered you the choice of two sentences: decades languishing in prison, or a lifetime of serving him in the court of Fatebinders. The choice was an easy one, and instead of seeing the inside of a cell, you were trained in letters and numbers, magic and war. The laws you once broke are now yours to interpret and enforce. Yeah, let's go with that. Which combat style? Dual wielding. Ooh, spells. I do tend to like spells. Let's go Vigor, utilize branch of magic, focus on granting bonuses to yourself. Fuck that. Entropy magic trains the skills of attributes. Fuck that. Frost is an offensive skill that focuses on slowing as well as stealing cold, obviously. Mages can shock magic can frequently interrupt their enemies, preventing them from executing their attacks. Maybe. Wielding a two-handed weapon puts your focus on power rather than speed. This is a slow attack style, but the damage you deal will often overcome the armor of your enemies. Very tempting, very. Wielding two weapons gives you the advantage of versatility, as each weapon can deal different types of damage. Boring. Wielding a javelin is a good compromise between melee and range. Thrown weapons deal more damage than bows, but cannot attack from as far away. They also have the benefit of being able to switch between range and melee attacks depending on the enemy's distance. That might be a thing as well. Ooh, it's javelin or greatsword. Javelin. Choose an ability. Heart shot. Delay your aim to focus on hitting the target's heart, gaining additional accuracy for this attack and leave the target bleeding. Or hobble. Target your enemy's feet with a ranged attack, hobbling when successful. Pretty sure hobble means they're... What is hobble? Movement speed reduced. Yeah. Heart shot in that case. Do we get to pick another one? Or... no, we don't. How does all these look? And that's the caster ones. Yeah, we're going javelin with heart shot. Next. Now we get to do second expertise. War mace. Wielding a two-handed weapon puts your focus on power and... no, that's it at the end. Let's go with war mace, I believe. Huge two-hander. Yeah, can we even do javelin again? No, that just gives... that does give us the second one. Yeah, we're gonna focus fully on javelins. Shock their colors. No, that's ugly as fuck. Can't. Ooh, pink. Fancy. Kinda. Our banner. Is there a javelin banner? It's a bear. That's arrows, I think. Not a javelin. Close. That might be two javelins and a weird shield. Fuck it, let's go with this one. It's gonna be black and... no, it's not as awesome as I had hoped. That'll do, I suppose. And we're gonna go with gold and... or bronze instead of pink. And I'm gonna name him... Surprising? No, I'm not gonna name him after me. I'm gonna name him after one of my cats, Harry. Harry the Lawbreaker. Attributes. He's pretty damn swift. He catches rats all the time. And I'm guessing this means this attribute is strongly recommended for you because you're training in javelins. Yeah. 2 of that. What's fitness? Might is strength. Powerful attacks. Increase endurance. Fitness describes physical and mental precision. Increases accuracy. Increase armor chance to critical hit. Makes you faster. Vitality is health and will defense. Wits is magic shit. And resolve is defense and affliction resistance, pretty much. Yeah, we're gonna be a quick fucker. Next, skills. Thrown is athletic. Traverse difficult terrain as well, but execute complicated moves in combat. Yeah, that sounds like I was. We're gonna be throwing. Yeah, hopefully we're gonna be throwing javelins a lot. Recommended. Fuck it, we're gonna be a conquest. Select the conquest token will allow you to play through Kairos Conquest of the Tiers. Choose how your charter is involved in invasion. No, let's do the conquest. We're gonna be telling her.
All the world has fallen to Kairos, and now the Overlord's eye is on the Tiers, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. 2 armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, marched south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tiersmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tiers sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors, until it's too late.
So yeah, there's probably gonna be a lot of reading in this game. If there's reading, I'll read it. If there's a narrator, we'll listen. During the conquest, you will decide your character's actions during Kairos' invasion of the Tiers, shaping the world through which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects the character and how your faction of the Tier responds to you. Your decision matter. Choose wisely. Pretty sure Telltale told us that as well. 428 TR, Year 1 of Kairos Conquest. That's neat. The bastard city stood on the northern border between Kairos Empire and the Tiers. Built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between realms, the city was nexus of commerce. To the Tiers, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it's a little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made is a natural first act of Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' army. Taking this city would send a message to the rest of the Tiers. Kairos will be unsurmountable. Select a token, okay. Infiltrate the Tiers. Both armies send their forces to prepare the way. Gates of Judgment. In the first major engagement of the war, Kairos armies cross the mountain and establish a foothold. Both armies sound better. History would remember the Gates of Judgment as the first battle of the conquest, but the real combat unfolded with the advance units of both armies preparing for the coming war. The Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus each had a plan to infiltrate the US capital city. Which army did you join? Or... The armies of Kairos took the battle to the Gates of Judgment, trumpeting the opening call of the conquest of the Tiers. The 2 armies brought a distinctive sense and order and chaos to the assault. You went to battle alongside the army whose approach best suited your strength. No, let's go with the infiltration, and we will aid the Disfavored scouts. You lent your skills to the elite Disfavored scouts to capture a border garrison, Grave and Ash. Gravenash insisted that an early victory in the offensive would boost the morale of his troops and diminish the haughty overconfidence of the Southerners. The Oathbound scouts identified a modest border defense and collaborated on an organized attack that would leave the enemy uncoordinated and cut off from aid. You oversaw the preparation and offered your opinions on the strategy. When the clashing of the swords and spears fell to silence, followed by cheering of the disfavored scouts, you were the least surprised. Vad ska vi get here then? The bastard city resident fire mages threatened the first leg of the conquest. Kairos' forces put a stop to their unchecked power, or you found an ally in the city to prepare the way for the approaching armies. Ooh. Pretty sure we gotta stop the mages. Mages are very usually powerful. Your fiercest opponents in the bastard city were the mages of the School of the Wild Wrath. Two barbarics used their power responsibly. The unbridled practitioners needed to be stopped. How did you trick the hot-tempered mages into their undoing? Lure them to a disfavored ambush or a meeting with the voices of Nerat? Ambush, obviously. You lured the hot-headed mages to an ambush where the legion of disfavored waited to spring the trap. The soldiers were hungry for a chance to subdue the arcane branches of Tyr's resistance. The mages took their more dangerous research outside of the bastard city walls. You sent a scout to sabotage a delicate ritual, which caused an explosion and injured or killed many senior practitioners. Enraged, the survivors expanded themselves on the chase through the surrounding hills, where the disfavored surrounded them. You brought them to heel. The few that survived the attacks were conscripted into the Scarlet Chorus. We like to enslave those... What's it called? I saw a note earlier that said, pretty sure it was when I picked that, they are given two choice, and serve them or die. Betrayal of the Bastard City. Your tactics of infiltration places you in the Bastard City ahead of the main armies. You work soften the city defenses for arrival of Kairos' forces, but you wanted a decisive gesture that would give your lads a meaningful advantage. How did you assist in the fall of the Bastard City? Duel of the City Marshal? Incite a riot? Spread fear through assassination? Ooh. I want assassination or riot. Although dueling the City Marshal would prove that we were pretty damn awesome. Oh. Warrior's Respite. Stand your ground in the fear of defeat. During this time you will regenerate health rapidly, but your damage is significantly reduced. You challenge the commander of the bastard of the city's defenses and an armor fight to the death. Blah blah blah. I'm pretty sure the other two is gonna give a reward also, but I'm gonna go for what fixes the story best and not the rewards, even though some rewards may be far better. I'm gonna go with Incite a Riot. Spreading the word of Kairos, you converted the poor and disaffected into a hidden army of the Scarlet Choruses. Once it was settled, the army wished to bolster the troops with these sleeper cells. And we will get Searing Palm. Gather heated energy into your hands and release it into a foe. The target ignites in flames, burning over time. Sounds good. It didn't take much to convince the bastard cities stone-trodden that Kairos was the superior power. You armed them with weapons and knowledge of a signal that you would raise when the time was right. As the armies appeared outside the walls, you ignited a spark that would fan the anger into a full-scale riot. The chaos that spread into Kairos' name weakened the city to such an extent that his inevitable fall was but a formality. That reminds a lot of Game of Thrones. You may choose one of these locations. The bastard city settled into a new state of normalcy, with every tower displaying Kairos' banner. Your name was whispered alongside rumors of a decorated career to come. The armies divided into two fronts and migrated south. Tunnon sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kairos' conquest, either as judge and overseer of the settlement of Lefanian's Crossing, or as a war advisor if the armies advancing into the realm of Apex. Ooh. Judge and overseer or war advisor. I wanna be judge and overseer. Lefania's Crossing. Deposits of iron made settlement of Lefania's Crossing a strategic war asset. Carriers sent to forge-bound smith mages exceptional skill to establish a flow of weaponry. So it's a mining town, sorta, that makes a lot of weapons. Sounds good. And that's next year. What do we get to pick this time? Years ago, Lefanian the Bold founded a small merchant town at the intersection of ancient Oldswall. A pact between the settlers and mercenaries company meant that the caravans were able to travel without fear of bandits or Bane. The fuck is Bane? And the town thrived in modest insignificance. Lefania's Crossing drew Carrie's attention for the iron deposits in the surrounding hills. With the region under Carrie's control, the northern smith mages could set up a workshop to refine ore and arm the disfavored with the finest weapon in the known world. The Archon of Secret dismantled the mercenary support with a generous bribe, taking the crossing in a bloodless victory. Tunon dispatched you to travel alongside Carrie's forces and bring order to the region. And we'll do so. You found a clever solution to improve production of iron weapons and armor. Sounds good. The Archon's song power ensnared the mind of the disfavored soldiers. What? Sirin of Song used her arcane charm to lure locals in joining Carus's army. As a patroness of Scarlet Corns, her efforts were critical to the conscription of new recruits. When an unfurled disfavored soldier joined her cult, his company feared that the Archon was growing out of control and needed to be stopped. Bitch is stealing our soldiers? Really? I kinda wanna kill her. Ooh. What was the option for this? Carol smith mages worked day and night to create weapons. No one faulted their dedication, yet production was slow. The plans that came to light proved diverse to the disfavored and scarecrows. On one hand, any additional manpower was needed for fighters, not forges. On the other hand, the celebrated weapons of Kyrus' armies needed fierce guarded. Fuck it, we're gonna deal with that fucking cult. The disfavored demanded that the Archon of Song cease their recruitment practices and that they be allowed to violently subdue her cult of followers. The loss of soldiers was a significant setback for the Scarlet Corps' conscription effort. Sucks to be fucking you. In response to your ruling, the Archon of Song departed your company in bitter silence, but not before releasing an Archon hold over the last batch of recruits. The disfavored remained obstinate that the dispersal of her cult continued as planned. Hunting down the confused or memory-stricken innocents, they put to death those who couldn't beat into obedience. The Scarlet Corps barely restrained themselves from the indignity which proved a major setback in army strength in numbers. Too bad. A red anvil, a forge-bound mage were allegiance to the Scarlet Corps, creating strife between the armies, or who protect the city from the attacks of arcane predators. We gotta protect our little settlement. Drawn to the arcane energy around the forges, mystical predators from the nearby old wall began to raid Lefane's Crossing at all hours. Both of Kairos' armies reserved the strength for the front lines of the war, and yet the city requires protection. You had to delegate the responsibility somewhere. Choose the chorus, choose the disfavored. Since the disfavored used most of the iron that came out of Lefane's Crossing, it fell to them to stand the city's vigilant protectors. The Scaratures enjoyed the necessary reprieve. Yeah, disfavored's gonna deal with it. Though the disfavored were averse to your ruling, they couldn't argue with the reasoning behind it. They rallied to the streets of Lefane's Crossing, patrolling an alert in shifts that lasted day and night in an impressive show of force. They managed to repel several attacks from the predators in a district that would have otherwise suffered great harm. Able to do some good, the disfavored still detested you for keeping them from battle with their real enemy in the tears. Tragedy struck when a mercenary hired by the voices of Nerat. What is that anyway? Known in his official capacity as the Archon of Secrets, the voice of Nerat is equal parts genius and madman. Rumors. Can I right click for more? No, it's just that again. Rumors are that he can steal the minds of others, though few, if any, are alive to confirm as such. The subjects of his interrogations are never heard from again, and they are unable to recall the memories of his victims with startling accuracy. Interesting. Tragedy struck when the mercenary hired by the voice of Nerat injured a forge-bound artisan, leaving him unable to practice his craft. Tunon ordered the mercenaries to leave the town in the hands of Cairo's more responsible servants. Only a token garrison would be left behind while the armies returned to the front, as the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus showed increasing tension and hostility toward each other. Tunon decreed it best that only one force controlled the crossing. Well, it's obviously disfavored. No, that's wrong. Wait. You can control flavor crossing to a skull. What? Oh, well. Isn't it wrong? I did say we're gonna give it to the disfavored, so let's... The disfavored placed a modest garrison in the settlement of Lefan's Crossings. For the force was larger than might be needed to police a small settlement, protecting the forge-bound ironsmith became the true agenda of the defense force, as the magical craftsman kept the disfavored invasion force suited in iron. Relieved by the departure of the Scarlet Chorus, the citizens of Lefan's Crossing felt they got at least two burdens. You received word from Graven Ash thanking you for your decision. The forge-bound and their weaponry could not be entrusted to the voices of Nerat. Branded with the disfavored. With the mercenaries expelled and Lefan's Crossing under new leadership, Kairos' forces congratulated themselves on bringing order to a new settlement and guaranteeing a productive flow of resource. Over the course of the diversion, the army front advanced further into the tiers. Your skills were needed in the realm of Azure, Stalwart, or the Vellum Citadel. Easily defend the position, rich military tradition, most formidable. Well, that's not much info at all. Treasures, knowledge and secrets. Now we're gonna get Stalwart. Military and such, you know. Year 3 of Kairos' conquest. The realm of Stalwart was best known for its proud army, disciplined, courageous, and undefeated on their home soil. Skill and resolve made Stalwart a military power that Kairos forces approached with due caution. With its softened position, Stalwart had been largely safe from war, watching the 2 years as its neighbors fell to Kairos forces. On the dawn of the 3rd year of war, Kairos forces were finally poised to invade the Stalwart Peninsula and subdue the tier's most wanted army. Damn straight we are. Tragedy struck when hungry Scarlet Chorus soldiers appropriated disfavored supplies. Or a stinging defeat led to accusations among Kairos' armies. What's this one? The Stalwart defenders burned their crops as they retreated, leaving the invaders little to forage. Starving, the Scarlet Chorus' mob raided from disfavored well-maintained supply lines, incurring casualties on both sides. You fucking assholes, we're gonna punish you for that. Even if time of war, there was no excuse for allied armies to battle each other in violation of Kairos' peace. The disfavored rightly argued that they only had enough supplies to feed their troops. The Scarlet Chorus needed to better look after their own people. Agreeing with their assessments, you had the offenders staked outside the Scarlet Chorus armed, left to send a message that hunger was no shield for justice. A new Scarlet Chorus tactic provoked disfavored rage. Seriously, stop fucking with our troops. A string of mass suicide led to the Scarlet Chorus making demands from... what? Let's see. Rather than submit to Scarlet Chorus conscription, conquered locals began committing suicide. Desperate to add more bodies to the horde, the Scarlet Chorus demanded a portion of disfavored prisoners. The disfavored denied the right of recruitment as the realm of population had taken a steep decline. Deny them? Fuck you. You banned them from recruiting in the realm of Stalwart, going as far as notifying the locals to assume their fears. You agreed with the disfavored arguments. This conquest was never about ruling a graveyard, but the Scarlet Chorus acted contrary to that goal. The voices of Narat and his mobs blamed you for suppressing their ability to conduct the war as they saw fit. In spite of their protest, you laid this proclamation in every conquest village, knowing the enemy spies would hear your verdict. The disfavored carved a slow, steady path into the heart of Stalwart and surrounded the enemy massive fortress. With the main bulk of their forces defeated, the enemy leadership retreated to the mighty fortress, content to wait out the war. The Overlord answered this impedance with an edict of storms on the peninsula, a devastating spell that would endure for as long as the cowardly hearts of the stalwart leaders persisted in beating. Knowing you had trust in Gravenash, Tunon demanded you to proper representative deliver Kairos' edict. Aside from being given a 3-day window to read the edict, you received no other instructions. Edict of Storms, give no warning or warn the people. Agreed with the wishes of the disfavored, you proclaimed the edict at once, leaving the enemy no time to react. Stalwart had ample opportunity to send her for several years. The time for mercy was long gone. You agreed with the disfavored rationable. The leaders of the Stalwart had refused honorable battle, and too many disfavored lives were lost in the campaign. Since the last regent refused to leave the keep, you would let him watch as his people suffered. Without hesitation or regret, you broke the seal of Kairos' edict of storms and read the Overlord's incantation. And so, the fortress got fucked. The clear skies darkened as you read the final words of the edict. A flurry of wind and rain whipped through the rolling plains and craggy canyons, turning rocks, uprooted trees, and hapless soldiers into hazardous shrapnel. Armed with a measure of foresight, you were able to remove yourself from the area before the storms grew more violent. Over time, nearby communities told of cyclones consisting of thousands of soldiers' worth of limbs, spears and armor, and skulls. What's more, the weather showed no sign of dissipating. Several units of the disfavored, who fought the enemy in spite of the advancing storm, were caught up in the Overlord's magic. The few survivors regrouped and nursed their wounds. Their failure to topple the Stalwart Legion shamed them into believing the dead more fortunate. The name Stalwart fell from use. People took to calling it the Blade Grave, for the remade landscape festooned with iron and bronze armaments of two once great legions. As Kairos' forces departed, you spared a glance back to the ruins of Stalwart. Marveling at your work, you didn't have long to rest before Tunon called you into service once more. Where are we going now? Conquest complete. You have reached the end of Kairos' campaign. Do you want to continue or erase progress? Start over. Continue.
The year is 431, and Kairos' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands.
Damn straight we do.
But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the Valley of Vendrian's Well, those of us unwilling to bow to Kairos have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault.
Boom, headshots.
With their main forces spread across the tiers, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance. But months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers. The Overlord is not amused, and Kairos has one message for the Archons: crush the Oathbreakers or die. Kairos backs this threat with an edict, a magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you.
Sweet.
Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons.
Oh, we're in for it now.
As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you.
Did he lock me in?
You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kairos' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
Well then, I suppose we'll just have to do just that. Ooh, that's nasty. But that will have to be it for now. It's a rather long episode, but it involved the shared equation and all. We'll actually begin the game itself in the next episode.